This evening, pawn shop owner fatally shot amid parking a street fight. Kanu made another significant multi-million-dollar cannabis bust. 3,800 acres of land have been identified for the immediate development of the new Silica City. In the region, Argentina probes toxic lacing of cocaine that killed dozens, and Cuba marks 60 years under the world's longest economic embargo. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. We begin this evening's newscast with the proprietor of a pawn shop that was fatally shot amid parting a brawl on an infamous city street. More from Esther Sobers.
The Guyana police force is investigating the death of a man who was shot while attempting to stop a fight among a group of friends at Leopold Street Work in Ross, Georgetown during the wee hours of this morning. Dead is 24-year-old businessman Carlos White. According to an eyewitness, White was shot in the neck around 4:30 a.m. According to reports, White was standing in the street when he saw a group of people who began to argue. One of the men arguing pulled out a firearm and fired about 8 to 10 shots. The crowd subsequently dispersed. However, White was left lying motionless on the ground. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. His body is at the mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. Investigations are in progress. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. In the continued efforts to remove illegal guns from the streets and make communities safer, the Guyana Police Force conducted an intelligence-led operation at the Cognac and Cigarette Bar located at Melanie and the east coast of Demerara on Sunday, February 6, 2022, and confiscated a firearm. During the operation, which was conducted just past midnight, a 34-year-old male of First Street Dazzle housing scheme located at Back Paradise on the east coast of Demerara was arrested for possession of one unlicensed .32 pistol. The pistol was without any ammunition or magazines. The suspect was taken to the Vigilance Police Station where he was profiled and placed in custody and the firearm was lodged. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit reportedly made another significant multi-million-dollar cannabis bust today in the Berbice-Curtin area. Here's Dale Jarvis with that.
Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit officers, while conducting operations at number 51 Village Curtin, Berbice, intercepted a car with 2 male occupants and discovered several parcels of suspected cannabis earlier today. The males were arrested and were escorted to Kanu headquarters along with the suspected narcotics, which was tested and proven to be cannabis, weighing to a total of 33.3 pounds and having a street value of over $4.5 million. Those arrested are 37-year-old Michael Embrock of Fort Ordnance, East Kanji, Berbice, and 34-year-old Randolph Job of 51 Village Curtin. Investigations are ongoing. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Stick around after the break. A motorcycle accident on the Sault-Sac-Linden Highway has left one dead and another hospitalized, and Minister of Health, the use of antiretrovirals to treat positive COVID-19 patients continues to generate excellent results.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure.
Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Welcome back. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has indicated that medical personnel attached to the National Infectious Disease Hospital, Liliendaal, continues to yield positive results from the use of remdesivir and baricitinib to treat positive COVID-19 patients. In his COVID-19 briefing on Friday, the minister stated that both treatments are antiretrovirals with the primary purpose of disrupting the virus life cycle. The incorporation of the two drugs into the local COVID-19 treatment comes just a month after the World Health Organization recommended baricitinib for the treating of the disease. Meanwhile, Minister Anthony noted that other treatment options are also being explored at the COVID-19 treatment facilities across the country, including the use of monoclonal antibodies, which was one of the leading treatments for COVID-19 patients. Monoclonal antibodies are laboratory-made proteins that mimic the immune system's ability to fight off harmful pathogens such as viruses like the COVID-19 virus. Dr. Anthony noted, however, that since the virus can and has continued to mutate over time, certain treatments using the monoclonal antibodies have proven less effective, especially against more recent Omicron virus. Minister Anthony noted that current medical researchers are coming up with newer combinations that are expected to boost its effectiveness at tackling the Omicron variant. One man was killed and another was hospitalized in a Linden-Soesdijk highway accident. More from Esther Sobers.
One man is now dead and another is hospitalized after they were involved in an accident on the Luluni Access Road Soesdijk-Linden Highway on Saturday, February 5th, 2022. Dead is 23-year-old Dave Taylor of Luluni Creek, Linden-Soesdijk Highway. According to the report, around 10:30 p.m., Taylor was driving motorcycle CL3900 along with pillion rider 17-year-old Vishal Bahudir west along the highway at a fast rate of speed when he entered a pothole with water, which caused him to lose control of the cycle. As a result, he and the pillion rider fell on the road, receiving injuries. They were assisted by concerned citizens and sent to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where Dave Taylor was pronounced dead on arrival. Vishal Bahudir was seen and examined and referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where he was treated and admitted as a patient for observation. The body of the deceased is at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation mortuary awaiting post-mortem examination. Further investigation by the police is in progress. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Crowell, has announced that some 3,800 acres of land have been identified for the immediate development of the new Silica City in the vicinity of Soesdijk to Mary area. Minister Kroll explained that the project aims to tackle the issue of non-coastal urban settlement development and the challenges of climate change and sea level rise. Within the first 5 years, it is expected that the city will be developed to cater for at least 3,125 households annually, and the projected population for this new city over the next 20 years will be approximately 50,000 persons or 12,500 households. Minister Kroll stated that discussions with utility providers are ongoing to coordinate the building of their infrastructure, as all utilities are expected to be transported underground through a shared utility corridor. Detailed designs have commenced for a golf course, resort facility, an eco-industrial park, and streetscape designs, which are projected initiatives of the new city, he added. Additionally, the designs will commence this year for a first phase housing development within the proposed residential zone of the new city after the block and topographic surveys are completed. Don't go away after the break. Argentina probes toxic lacing of cocaine that killed dozens, and Russia, Belarus holds joint military drills near the tense Ukraine border. But before that, here's the radio attraction schedule.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Cuba is marking 60 years since the United States imposed sanctions on the colony's government. The world's longest-running economic embargo has mostly affected common citizens. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
The disintegrating buildings of Cuba's once magnificent capital, a reflection of a crumbling economy in what was once regarded as the jewel of the Caribbean. It's as though the country had been frozen in time, back to 1962, to when the United States declared an economic, financial, and diplomatic embargo against its tiny communist neighbor. It was at the height of the Cold War. 75-year-old Rolando Ignacio Ruiz was 15 then, just 3 years after the triumph of the Cuban Revolution. 60 years later, he laments that the embargo is still in place.
They should have removed it long time ago. If after all this time the United States hasn't achieved anything, it certainly won't now. It only hurts our people, but the government remains in place.
He's not wrong. The world's longest economic embargo has certainly hurt ordinary Cubans, limiting access to medicine, cheap U.S. imports, technology, and credit through a U.S. dollar-dominated financial system. Washington's purpose has always been to modify or force out Cuba's one-party communist system, but clearly it's failed miserably.
On the contrary, in Cuba's case, the embargo has become a fundamental component for the survival of the Cuban state and its current government. The tougher the sanctions, the easier it is to accuse the United States of violating sovereignty, destabilizing the country, and organizing rebellion.
That is exactly what happened when economic hardships and restrictions on freedom of expression exploded into unprecedented mass demonstrations last year. Referring to 60 years of economic embargo, President Miguel Díaz-Canel alluded to sanctions against Cuba's allies, Venezuela and Nicaragua.
This criminal and immoral policy imposed systematically against us is a massive violation of the human rights of the Cuban people, and it is the same one that is now threatening and attacking other nations of our region with unilateral coercive measures.
Harsh sanctions against Venezuela and milder ones against Nicaragua's Daniel Ortega have in fact encouraged alliances with China, Russia, and Iran, making them less dependent on the U.S.
I don't know of any case in Latin America where sanctions have produced the desired results, even partially.
The same might be said for unilateral sanctions in other parts of the world. But while they may not be effective, they remain Washington's preferred means of persuasion. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera.
An investigation is underway in Argentina, where at least 24 persons have died after ingesting cocaine that was laced with a mixed unknown toxic substance. More than 80 people are in the hospital. Authorities are looking into who laced the drugs and why. Al Jazeera's Katia Lopez-Hodayan has more.
Scenes like these are hurting dozens of families in Argentina's capital. This man on a stretcher ingested cocaine that's suspected of having been laced with poison. Authorities say hundreds of people were sold the contaminated drug in recent days. It can cause severe breathing problems and even heart attacks less than an hour after being ingested. Dozens of people have died. Outside hospital, relatives wait and pray.
I lived with an addict all my life. Now my son is an addict. When I lock him up in the house, he jumps from our second-floor window to buy drugs.
Nearby, Mass is held for those who died and for those who are still in hospital. Others are thankful they survived.
I was with my friends earlier in the week and I took some cocaine. I felt a stomach ache and a headache. My vision became blurry and I began to throw up. Then I started to throw up blood. I got scared and came to the hospital for help.
The low-income neighborhood of Loma Hermosa has been affected the most. Authorities are investigating many lines of inquiry, among them whether drug gangs spiked batches of rivals' cocaine to weaken competition. Arrests have been made, and police say more will follow.
Some people who took the contaminated cocaine suffered respiratory problems, but they didn't go to hospital or reach out for help because of stigma and discrimination.
Possession and personal consumption of cocaine has been decriminalized in Argentina since 2009, but transporting and selling the drug is still illegal. Authorities are trying to find the source of the tainted cocaine to remove it from circulation. They're also urging people who purchased the drug recently to not ingest it. But even after the warning, they fear the death toll will rise. Katia Lopez-Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
And internationally, Russian troops and military equipment remain on the Belarusian border with Ukraine. The two countries have been holding joint military exercises, Al Jazeera's Hoda Adel Hamid reports.
At the Novi Yariloveci border crossing, it's business as usual. About 1,000 people transit through here every day, going to and coming from Belarus. On the other side, Russia and Belarus are holding joint military exercises, but no sign of that here. Still, the border guards say they are on high alert and prepared. But how?
It depends on the forces which will oppose us and on the situation we will face. The only thing I can say is that there are units ready to react in case of any threat coming from the neighboring country.
There's little to show in terms of military build-up on the Ukrainian side of the crossing. This ditch was dug a while ago. It's now being reinforced with coils of razor wire. This road is more than 2,000 kilometers long. It starts in Odessa on the Black Sea, goes to Kiev, towards the north of the country, crosses Belarus and ends up in St. Petersburg in Russia. So should Russia decide to send its troops across the border into Ukraine from Belarus, this would be a perfect way in. From here, it's an easy 4 hours drive south to the capital. But at the moment, it's Ukrainian troops who are on the move north. Ukraine's northern border is more than 1,000 kilometers long. But Nikolai Yashinka remembers when there were no demarcations. Russia, Belarus and Ukraine were all part of the Soviet Union. He says his life was better then. His wife Nadia is suspicious of us and says that no one here will tell us what they really think. People here are closely linked to Russia. Valery Petrovich tells us people intermarry, go shopping across the border. That's where he got his boots. And he doesn't see their big neighbor as the enemy.
No. Nobody will fight. Everyone here will laugh about it. We don't care. I watch TV and it's horrible. Our troops are mobilizing. Russians don't care. Let them come. We will welcome them. They won't do anything to us. We are not afraid because we are a part of Russia.
If they were to invade, Russians could also come through the Senkivka crossing. It sits at the junction of Ukraine, Belarus to the west and Russia to the east. The Three Sisters Monument, a symbol of brighter days between the three countries. Anatoly and his wife are on the way to visit their daughter and grandchildren in Moscow. They don't go as often because of the uncertainty of a looming war. But he, like most people living near the border, don't agree or see why relations between Kiev and Moscow have reached such a low point. Hoda Abdelhamid, Al Jazeera, along Ukraine's northern border.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.